My name is Dhillon, and I am the founder of Warrant Media. We are an agency. You probably met a lot of agencies at PodCamp so far. So thank you for coming to my session. Hopefully it'll be informative for you. And what I want to talk about today is generating leads online. Now, the reality behind this subject matter is that it's so broad. We can talk for hours about this. Talk about strategies, talk about KPIs, and talk about the whole shebang. So I put together a presentation which talks about the fundamentals, the tools that you use to generate online leads, the strategies, and the major KPIs behind generating online leads. So does anybody here work in the industry? So you work in the industry?
Doing leads, yes, like lead gen.
Yeah, doing lead gen, okay. All right. So basically, I guess we can probably relate to the same thing when it comes to online leads, or we might agree or disagree, whatever it might be, but it's all good. But essentially, I'll go through today's agenda. So I broke it down into certain parts. It's not in any particular order, but for one, I want to talk about the truth behind generating online leads, the essentials of generating online leads, budgeting, so choosing a suitable budget, identifying your target market, the effective traffic channels, the buyer's journey, and retaining online leads, converting your online leads, and then if we have time, we'll break it up to a Q&A afterwards as well, for any type of questions you want to convey. So I'm this type of person, like, I might drop an F-bomb here and there. I speak from the heart, and I have some strong opinions. I'm not sure if you have any strong opinions too about online leads as well, but see, there's some, I guess I wouldn't say ugly truths, but there's some truth behind generating online leads. And when working in the agency life, I've been generating online leads for about 10 years, and it's never a status quo. It's never a situation where it's like you set it and forget it and you hope for the rest. You have to always optimize. You have to optimize your strategy because competition is a big part too. So always keep your eye on the competition and making sure that you're staying ahead in competition. So what I really hate when it comes to agencies is that if I'm a business that's struggling and I want business and I'm like, oh my God, I can't get business and I'm never getting any business and all that and my business is gonna fail. An agency could go to that business, and they'll sell the dream. Say, hey, pay us X amount of dollars a month. We're gonna give you all kinds of leads and your business is gonna grow by 10% and you're gonna be laughing. That's not the case. It's not the case at all. And that's what I hate about certain agencies that are out there. And that's what I hate about the industry too, is that it's not about selling the dream. It's not about leads. You have to have the leads to work for you. So that's a big part of it. So what I want to say is that generating leads is effective, but it's challenging. And that goes back to the whole competitive aspect I was talking about before. Whenever you generate leads, you always have to remember is that conversion is also important too. If you have a lead that goes to your website, are they going to react or are they going to leave? You want to make sure that that lead is going to react to your website or to your call to action to make sure that you triggered them for them to pick up the phone, give you a call, to knock on your door, whatever the hell it might be. There's also the buying behavior of leads too. I could be an active lead or I can be a passive lead. So let's just say that, I don't know, like my toilet backed up in my basement and now I have flooding and there's shit all over my floors. And so that's an active lead. I need help right away. So closing that lead is more effective because they need help right away. Versus, if I need a custom home built, I need to get zoning done, I need to get land, I need to get blueprints. That's more of a passive lead because it takes more time to convert that lead. And also remember is that leads will not grow your business. It's your sales strategy. So if I'm going to be generating leads and you have like 10 phone calls a day, but you're not picking up your phone, that's money out the window. So on a paid strategy, it's really, really crucial. So for example, if I come across an ad, I call that number, and then that person doesn't pick up the phone, I might be nice enough to leave a voice message. But no, nowadays we don't leave voice messages anymore. I'm going to hang up the phone and call the second person. So that's the reality behind leads, is that you have to be really active and you have to make sure that you're doing whatever it takes to make sure that you get that business. It's a horse race, it's a chase. So just remember that. So the essentials of generating online leads. So some of the stuff might sound elementary, but you have to take a deeper look at your strategy. So for one, figuring out your target market is easier said than done. You might know who your target market is, but will that specific target market, are they the right target market for you? Really think outside the box and look at the layers on your target market. So KPIs, determine your closing rate. So if I was to get a client in front of me, what is the likelihood of me closing that person? Is it 50%? Is it 20%? So those are certain things that you have to keep in mind when closing your lead. Determining your average sale. I might have services between $2,000 to $5,000, but your average sale will determine the overall value of your lead as well. Creating a unique value proposition. Somebody comes to my website, what are they going to do? Okay, they might call me, but then how am I appealing to their needs? Will a free consultation, will that be good enough to convince them to give me a call? Everybody's giving out a free consultation. Everybody has that. So how am I going to stand apart from everyone else? So thinking outside the box. That also ties into having a defined website or landing page, because if I have a defined target market, my landing page needs to speak specifically to that target market and needs to speak specifically to the problem that they're having. And then also a lead nurturing process. I might be able to close some leads, but I might not be able to close, I won't be able to close all the leads, but then I need to nurture them. So what will it take for me to nurture the leads if I can't close them right away? So that's just something to keep in mind is when it comes to the essentials of generating online leads. So on the agency side, there's return on ad spend. I'm not sure if you ever did the whole return on ad spend. You probably have, but
I'm not as experienced, but I'm limited.
Oh yeah, I'm just
Sorry.
Yeah, but I figured it's always good to have some relevance in terms of like this. But so whenever we work with the client, we have to create a roadmap for the client to determine a plan, to determine to see what the overall lifetime value of your campaign can be. So I'm throwing numbers outside of a hat, but I'm working with very marginal numbers. They can be all over the place. But let's just say if I'm working with a client and their budget is $500 a month. They can spend $500 a month, but it doesn't mean that they're going to be closing all the leads that month. They have to be able to take a loss. Or if you're going to be, if you're afraid to take a loss the first month, then this is not for you. You have to be able to take some bumps along the way because you have a lot of competition. So therefore, if your budget is $500 a month, your annual budget is $6,000. Now, if you received 130 leads throughout the course of the year, your average cost per lead is $46.15. So you take the entire annual budget and divide it by the number of leads. And the reason why I came across this is because I work with a more realistic projection. Industry average, when I work with clients, the average cost per lead that we were seeing is between $35 to $60 on average, so I just kind of met in the middle when it comes to a number of annual leads. So let's just say that my closing rate is 50%. So I have a 50% likelihood of closing a lead. That means that out of 130 leads, I've closed 65. So that's guaranteed customers that I received. And let's just say that on a marginal note, my average sale is $750. That means that my revenue, projected revenue, is $48,750. Compare that against $6,000. That sounds pretty awesome. But it depends on how good I am at closing these leads. So that's just one thing to look at when it comes to return on ad spend. It's not return on investment because there's other costs that are associated. I might have production costs, I might have other costs. So on a realistic note, when you're an agency, always look at the return on ad spend. Now, anybody have any questions so far? I hope I didn't lose anybody yet, but.
Sorry, you may have said that, are you talking target numbers across pay-per-click and Facebook ads and any kind of investment?
Yeah, any kind of investment. I'm basically looking at it as an overall. So, because in every given case, you're gonna get a lead, and that lead has a price tag to it. So that's based on a projection, but typically it's all over that. So, identifying your target market. So, it's important to be very, very specific. So I want to give an example of a client that I work with. Asphalt paving. It's not a sexy industry. It's pavement work. I can do driveways, I can do pothole repairs, or I can do parking lot pavement. Now, if I have a budget of $500 a month, I don't want to get the driveways. It's going to be $200 for me to pave a driveway. So if I'm spending $500 a month on an ad campaign, let me go after parking lots. That's $30,000. So be specific. I don't want to tackle the homeowners. Let me tackle the property managers, the businesses. That's where my dollars should go, so I can get a proper return on ad spend. So this is where I say avoid a one-size-fits-all. Now, if I'm the smaller guy who's putting out $500 and only tackling parking lots, the bigger guys that are out there that have like a budget of $2,000, $3,000 are going after everyone and anyone. They're getting the parking lots, they're getting the driveways, the numbers out of whack, and they're not really defined. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So the point that I'm trying to make is always focus on the larger ticketed items when you want to get when you want to get a significant return on ad spend. And that said, once you create the campaign, make sure that your landing page or your website speaks specifically to that service. So if it's parking lots, make sure it's parking lots. Don't do a general asphalt paving page. I don't want a person calling me and saying, hey, do you guys do parking lots? You didn't really talk about it. It's not really talking to me per se as a customer. So that page, that lead will not convert properly. So let's keep that in mind.
So, good question here.
Sure.
So when you're tailoring this to an audience and then you have a driveway audience, you have a parking lot audience, would you generate like separate landing pages for multiple audiences? And then what happens with your SEO? Because now you're fragmenting your kind of, in social media if you're trying to promote something, like would you just create multiple social media channels and everything?
Absolutely. That determines the success rate of your campaigns, right? Because when you do that, it's more defined. And I'm going to talk about a little bit more about how you define your campaigns too. So when you talk about the target market, so I'll talk about it in more detail in a bit. But
how segmented do you make it? Do you kind of make it very, very targeted, or what's the level of segmentation you should aim for?
Well, it depends on how many services you have. Like if I can do like everything from, if I'm an asphalt paving company, I'm doing everything from parking lots, driveways, repairs, potholes, seal coating. There's so many different services that I do or I can do, but it's important that I speak to one service at a time per page.
Oh, so separate pages but not separate accounts, like I'm talking about say Twitter accounts or...
But separate accounts. So separate campaigns per service.
Per service.
Yeah. So that's exactly how I do it.
Wow. Okay, thanks.
No problem. So, lead channels. So, this is pretty fundamental when generating leads. So, when I work with generating leads, I use these channels. So, search engine marketing, that would be Google Ads or Bing Ads. Typically, we don't really touch Bing Ads because Bing is really not that good because Google always takes a market share when it comes to search activity. Social media, so Facebook ads, Instagram. Well, Instagram is integrated with Facebook and LinkedIn ads. Also search engine optimization. Now, I want to show an example of search engine marketing. You might have already seen this, but typically with search engine marketing, if I was to Google criminal lawyer, I work with a lot of criminal lawyers, so I'm just using this example. So, up here, this is search engine marketing. You have Google ad campaigns specifically tailored towards criminal lawyers who are looking to defend a case. Also, keywords is what they bid on. So the word criminal lawyer is a keyword that they bid on. It could be other keywords too, such as drug trafficking charge, if I was charged of drug trafficking and I freak out, I'm gonna go online and say drug trafficking charge. So who's gonna defend me? So this is like how these campaigns are created. Now, you can tell who has a larger budget. Daily Buyers has a larger budget when you look at this versus the people that are at the bottom. Edgar Law or David Jennings. So if you have a larger budget, that means that your likelihood of staying at the very top is a lot more. And the reason why that's important to know is because if I have a budget of $500 a month, that means my daily ad spend is $16.45 a day. So you take $500 divided by 30.4. On average, it's 30.4 days in a month, and that determines my daily budget. Now, then you have the cost of the keyword. So a keyword could be between, I don't know, between $3 to like $9. That's kind of like more of a conservative value. But 3, 6, 9, 12. So typically if it's $3 per average that I'm spending, so after 5 clicks, that means my campaign is done. So meaning that once those 5 clicks are done, this ad won't be visible if it's my campaign. So just keep that in mind. Versus if I have a search engine optimization campaign and I'm using the same keyword, then you have these organic listings. You can click on them as much as you want, they're not going to go away. But you manipulate the Google system to make sure that you are ranking for these keywords that are going to bring you value and bring these clients. So these are how the campaigns look, but let's just say that if a prospect was to visit one of these campaigns, I'm not going to be a jerk, I'm not going to click on it. Because if I click on this, he's going to pay.
He's a lawyer.
Yeah, I know it's a lawyer, but hey, I'd be pretty pissed off too. But I went ahead and looked at his landing page. So it's pretty effective. So once you go to the landing page, it has the right calls to action. There's a number right here. There's a free consultation form field right here. And let's just say that if I got busted for drug possession, the content is pretty good. It's not just drug offenses. He has possession of drugs, trafficking of drugs, importing drugs, production of drugs. So depending on what I got busted for drugs, this guy has the answer. So he's the right lawyer to contact if I get busted for drug possession. Because he knows what problem I'm going through. Like, oh shit, I just got busted with drugs. This guy's going to help me.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
You're based in Toronto, this guy may be based in the US. Like, how do you know that it's the right lawyer? Because there was no location?
No, he's based in Toronto.
Oh, this is, okay.
Because the fact that I'm in Toronto and I did the search, they targeted the Toronto jurisdiction.
Okay.
So you can actually choose that when you're creating the campaign.
That's if you allow your location to Google.
Sorry?
That's only if you allow your location.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you don't allow it, where is it going to search?
If you don't choose a location,
Yeah.
it's gonna go everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. That goes worldwide actually. And so typically it's kind of like money out the window. It's always important to choose the right jurisdiction when creating a campaign. But typically, if I was to search for this, like the fact that I see it, it's a Toronto based. Like they might not be in Toronto, they might be in Brampton. Like they might be a Brampton lawyer who can take clients in Toronto. But either way, like they don't really care where they come from as long as they're serving the jurisdiction.
No, I think what he's saying is if the user is not providing his location information, then what does Google map that keyword to?
It basically it's an open net.
It's an open net.
Yeah, it's open net. It doesn't really matter. So that's actually a danger. You don't want to do that because it's not defined. You're basically
So
running a
the user, not the advertiser.
Sorry?
If the computer user is blocked from their own location, then the advertiser can't target.
Yeah, the advertiser can't target. But if it's blocked the location, the advertiser can't target that. Yeah. Okay. I thought you meant like if it was not selected. If there was no location selected, what would happen?
Just from the user.
Yeah, for sure. No. Sorry, I misunderstood your question. But
So perhaps they should have put a Canadian flag there, or
It's
Toronto,
good.
or Ontario.
well, they could. Well, where are they located anyway? I'm kind of curious.
Can I ask,
Sure.
I have a small business, B2B.
Okay.
I don't do online advertising.
Yeah.
And I am always gobsmacked by the calls that I get pretty much from my neighborhood.
Okay.
I get them like, I'm at Strong and most of my customers are between Bathurst and Dublin.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to. Is the system somehow reading my address and
Well, where are these customers coming from, and how do we find out about you?
online?
Online? So was it
On
from
our website?
from location? Like, was it through Google?
I don't even
Crazy?
have, no, I don't have my address on my,
Okay.
I would walk to most of my movie customers, because
Yeah.
they're that close.
Yeah, because that's kind of, like, that's something that's, like, I know there's certain situations where people might find you based on your location with the Google, like, business listing.
It's not retail, it's a home office, they don't.
They're probably just searching for the closest one in their area, and then they choose you, right?
There's literally nothing on my site. I just was wondering if the search engines were somehow
There's a whole lot
identifying
of,
where I am and.
Are you on other sites though, listings, like social
Like on
media,
Kijiji or whatnot?
Mindful?
there's a whole
So
lot of
it's very
signals that
geographic.
go into like Google searches and stuff. Like for instance, if you go incognito in a browser, Google has 28 signals that can derive just from an incognito browser
Yeah.
on how to create a custom web search that'll suit you and who you are. So I expect probably what's happening is there's a whole lot of Google, foo, whatever, behind the scenes, a whole lot of signals they're using to figure out to sort of put people in your geographic area. Like it's not a coincidence
They're
or an
most
accident. And
likely
there's a lot of stuff
hired.
happening that we're not aware of,
Yeah,
and
it works.
if you ask them, they won't tell you because it's trade secret. So
But they,
yeah.
So yeah, but just going back to this example over here is that, so I talked about search engine marketing and search engine optimization, but social media marketing is also effective too because they can target me based on my behavior. Where have I visited? What do I like? What do I dislike? And what? So therefore, and this kind of goes back to what you were saying about like how do I target people? Like if I was to do it through social media, like let's just say if it's Instagram, or so not Instagram, through LinkedIn, and I'm a pavement company, I can target people based on their seniority, if they're a decision maker, well, obviously where they're located, and if they're the property manager, and then I'll put out a parking lot paving ad to the property managers to ensure that when they need work done, I could be that business for them. So they're the right prospect for me. So that's one way to define social media. So, anywho, just moving along.
So just to complete that, so in this lawyer example, you have drug trafficking, you have so many other offenses, right?
Yeah.
Would you have social media accounts targeted to, like, say, drug traffickers, whatever, something, Ontario, as one of your...
Well, typically, typically that's
Depends what your business is.
Right? Like, yeah, who's selling drugs on the area?
yeah, we can't advertise that.
So just
Some
segmenting,
people
I
use
mean, the question was like, do you segment to that level of detail in that lawyer example?
So for the lawyer example, like if I was to put together a social media campaign for lawyers, depending on what the offense could be, it cannot be as targeted. I would have to go based on I would go based on geodemographic because my target market could be anybody. Like it could be like if it's a DUI, it could be like anybody. Like that's not predetermined. Same with drugs. As long as the jurisdiction and my age demographic is fine, that's who my right target market is. So, and in many cases, when it's social media for lawyers, like what I'm doing right now is I'm putting out articles. It's all articles, ensuring that when it comes to news, with DUI, any type of jurisdiction, such as like cannabis legalization, these are huge things that lawyers need to talk about, especially considering the level, the level of business that they're in. So that's one thing to keep in mind. You can't be as targeted when you're a lawyer or like a criminal lawyer versus being an actual paving company. So that's just how you differentiate the two campaigns. It's not apples to apples at the end of the day. Yeah. So the buyer's journey. So this actually came from HubSpot. I put this together. You probably might have did the HubSpot course, but this is important to know because when you're defining your target market, it's important to know the stages that they're in, especially considering if they're going to consider you as the right business to choose. So going back to the lawyer example, so you have the awareness stage, so you have a problem, the consideration stage, what are you going to do about that problem, and it's decision stage. So who's going to solve that problem for you? So therefore, if I was caught with 3 kilograms of cocaine, that means, oh shit, I got a problem. I don't want to go to jail. What am I going to do about it? So then therefore, the consideration stage. Okay, I don't want to go to jail. I can either turn myself in or I can fight the charge. What am I going to do about it? And that goes to the decision stage. Who are the right lawyers that are out there who can defend my case? And what is it going to take for them to make sure that they can win my business over? I can go to one landing page that has a lawyer that has no content, might confuse me, therefore I will not consider them. Or I can go to another landing page based on the example that I showed you of daily buyers who is specifically answering my questions, therefore they might be the right person for me. Or I can go to a lawyer who's doing all of that and are sweetening the deal by giving me a free informational guide, a free video, and some content that I can find useful, and that will separate him or her from the other people that I've contacted. So this goes back to the horse race of like, who is the right person to contact, and who's the right person to defend my case. So this is why it's important to be very, very strategic when creating your campaigns. Now, so I went ahead and I generated leads. So I put together a campaign. I had a prospect come to my website. You know, they might have called me, they might have not called me. They might have left my website. And if they left my website, that's me saying, I want to put together something where I can say, you and I, we have unfinished business. What is it going to take for you to come back? So this is where retargeting comes in place. And I love this stuff because I think it's like a great way to brand yourself and a great way to make sure that you're always in front of their face the whole time. So I worked on a campaign. It's called Pro Kilo Brothers. It's an auto shop. So collision, auto collision, whatnot. So if I was to go on Pro Kilo Brothers website, so let's just say that, hey, you know, some jerk, he, rear-ended me. Now I have to get some auto work done, blah, blah, blah. Who's going to help me out? Then I go on this website. If I found them through a campaign. Okay, so let's just look at their content. Okay, auto collision repair. Yeah, 7 days a week. Yeah, maybe I'll consider them. But then I leave. Whatever. I just become negligent and I just leave. For whatever reason it might be. Then I go on another website. So South Not Toronto. So if I go to this website right here, you know, just for leisure purpose, I'm going onto another website. Boom. Their ad pops up. And the cool thing about retargeting campaigns is that if I visit your website, I can create a campaign where you see my ads for 540 days. That means that I'm going to be looking at you, potentially looking at you, for almost 2 years. So therefore, I can't ignore you. Now, a funny story is this, is that a buddy of mine, he was actually going to, he was going to propose to his girlfriend. Well, they're married now. He actually got busted because his girlfriend at the time went on his computer and kept seeing pop-ups for Spence diamonds, diamonds for less. He was going online and he was looking up diamond rings. And then when he proposed to her, she had to pretend like, oh my god. But then meanwhile, she was like, I kind of knew that you were going to propose to me because I keep seeing pop-ups of, of diamond ads. So, but anyway, just be careful if you're looking to propose to your girlfriend.
Or divorce.
Or,
For retargeting, is that considered an active or a passive?
Yeah, that's actually considered passive. And the reason why is because even though you might have a person who took action right away, but it's definitely passive because you don't know whether or not if they're going to consider you now or consider you later. But if you visited their website, you're not leaving any paper trail. You want to leave paper trail for them to come back. So it's more of a passive approach.
If you show them one ad and they don't click on it, yet you're still tracking them, can you put it on a rotation where advertise a different angle towards them? For example, we offer entertainment facility, you can do it for birthdays. Well, I don't know anybody's a birthday going on, but I know somebody has a bachelor party going on, and throw at your place. Could I get them to see that ad over Like something that they didn't click on, or is it just based on whatever randomly gets thrown?
You can put together, so just the way I understand your question is that, so you have multiple services.
Right.
And so let's just say that if they had one service, can you put together campaigns that are like divided between the services?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, and that's important to do, and that's, and like, if I was to visit your, website, and, there's a birthday party, but I want the bachelor party side, I'll list the bachelor party ad. But if I want a birthday party, then if I see a birthday party ad, then that talks more to me.
Right.
Because like, I'm married, I already did the bachelor party thing, but it's like, my son turns 3, and so I need some balloons and a clown hired and all that, so yeah, that's for me. So it's important to create multiple campaigns, retargeting campaigns that focuses on that. And I've actually worked with clients who did that too, where they wanted multiple retargeting campaigns based on their service. It all depends on what your budget is. You can definitely do that. Actually, I recommend doing that over everything else.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more of a laser beam approach. The same thing goes for social media as well, because you can actually do the same thing for Facebook and Instagram too, because let's just say that if I was visiting a website, there's something called a pixel code, where if you install a pixel code on a website, then once I go on Facebook and Instagram, I will see that ad on Facebook and Instagram. You might have seen that before too, where if you go on a website, then you go on Facebook and like, oh shit, I've already seen these guys. Like they're putting an ad out for me already. No, because you went on their website and you activated their pixel, therefore you're their ideal target market. The fact that you went on their website, you've already predefined that you are their target market. So that's just some of the strategic approaches with lead generation that comes with social media marketing and with Google Ads as well.
So just point number 2 says that you leave without giving an email or buying anything.
Yeah.
Now, in case you left the email or bought something, does it not retarget you?
Well, yeah, you can. It will retarget you.
Still, even if you bought something already.
Yeah, if you bought something already, you have already activated that pixel when you visit.
Right, but now you bought it, so you don't want to spend money to retarget the same guy who's already bought something from you, right? So
why not?
I mean, the fact that like if this guy came to do that criminal lawyer thing,
Yeah.
right, and now he's already paid you money and that case is done, and then he goes to another side, he keeps seeing your ad over and over again. I mean, he doesn't need to see that.
Well, you see, if that's a case where it's like, if I was to like not want to see that ad anymore, I could just ignore it.
No, the seller, the lawyer in this case, can he control that? If this guy has already bought something, I don't want to show him my ad anymore.
Well, not necessarily, because when you have these campaigns, they're there for you. There is a branding approach for them to see your ad frequently. Now, one thing to keep in mind as well when it comes to retargeting, they're really, really cheap. They're very inexpensive. You're basically paying from 25 cents to 50 cents per click. That's the number. So it really doesn't matter. But and this approach right here, I guess what this right here is more of an e-commerce example. If I was to buy something online, then you definitely want me to come back and buy it. It's it goes back to the 80-20 approach. 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your customers, right? Yeah.
I've just in the last couple of days, I've had a webinar
Yeah.
that I signed up for, but I didn't end up attending because I signed up for a lot of webinars.
Yeah.
And he's been retargeting me, saying, "Hey, I saw that you attended the webinar or whatever happened." He's really been pushing the strategy session on me.
Yeah.
Because I went through to the thank you page and there's a strategy session opportunity.
Right.
Look, it's a lead generating webinar.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I saw you haven't booked your strategy session yet." I'm like, "I have to